Have you ever wondered why, even when you feel like you're doing everything right, the relationship between men and women still feels like a battle you can't figure out how to win? How many times have you caught yourself trying to decode inexplicable reactions, as if you're facing a puzzle that seems impossible to solve? What if I told you those moments of confusion have an explanation, and that there's a hidden pattern behind it all? The problem isn't you, and it's not her either. What's missing is an understanding of the emotional dynamics that drive women's behavior. And here's the key: whoever masters these dynamics masters the game. Today, I want to make you a promise. By understanding these 5 emotional vulnerabilities women have, ones no one talks about, you won't just learn how to act wisely. You'll transform your relationships in a way that leaves you unshaken by challenges. Picture this: being in total control of yourself, knowing exactly what to say and do, and watching arguments, misunderstandings, and emotional conflicts become a thing of the past. This isn't just possible, it's a skill you can learn right here, right now. In this video, I'll teach you how to apply the clarity of a true Stoic to navigate these complexities. You'll learn how to reclaim your inner peace, heal wounds that have haunted you for years, and build genuine connections with your partner, friends, or even at work. But here's a warning. Ignoring these patterns means staying stuck in the same mistakes, letting misunderstood emotions dictate your life. If you're ready to take charge of your mind and heart, stick with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll have powerful tools to become someone unshakable, respected, and admired in any relationship. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. And leave a comment below. Do you think understanding these vulnerabilities can truly transform your relationships? Get ready, because the first lesson will open your eyes to something you've never noticed before. Emotional validation is where it all begins or falls apart. Emotional validation is her greatest weakness. Have you noticed how, in a conversation, no matter how logical your argument is, what truly seems to matter to her is how you make her feel? That's the power of emotional validation. For many women, being heard and emotionally validated is as essential as breathing. And here's the uncomfortable truth: ignoring this can build impenetrable walls, while acknowledging it can open doors you never thought existed. But listen carefully. Emotional validation doesn't mean agreeing with everything or abandoning your own stance. Great Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus teach us that it's possible to listen with empathy, understand without losing your balance, and respond with composure. Picture this. She's venting to you about a problem at work. With the best intentions, you start offering practical solutions. But instead of feeling grateful, she seems even more frustrated. Has that ever happened to you? What she really wanted in that moment wasn't a solution. She wanted to feel like you understood what she was going through. Simple phrases like, "I can imagine how hard that must be for you," or "I get why you'd feel that way," can have a massive impact. This need for validation isn't a sign of weakness. It's a reflection of how deeply emotions are connected to women's decisions and behaviors. When you master the art of emotional validation, you not only build trust, but also establish yourself as someone reliable and balanced. Here's something to reflect on. How do you usually respond when faced with someone who's emotionally vulnerable? Do you jump to fixing things, or do you try to understand them first? She's obsessed with being understood. Have you noticed how often what a woman truly wants is not just to be heard, but to feel genuinely understood? It's as if there's a constant need for her emotions and thoughts to be interpreted with precision. This obsession with being understood isn't a whim. It's a profound reflection of the human need for connection. And for many women, that connection is foundational. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." That principle holds especially true here. What often goes unnoticed is that while you're listening, she's looking for signs that you truly grasp what she's trying to express. Now picture this scenario. You're having a disagreement. She shares something that's been bothering her, and you respond with something like, "You're overreacting." What happens next? The conversation falls apart. Why? Because with that response, you invalidate her emotional experience. Instead, try saying something like, "I see. You felt frustrated because you didn't feel like you were being taken seriously." Do you see the difference? This small shift shows that you're attuned to what she's feeling, not just what she's saying. Often the need to feel understood isn't about winning arguments. It's about feeling that her perspective is valued. When you can show her that you genuinely value her view of the world, the relationship becomes stronger. And here's the paradox. Once she feels understood, she becomes more open to hearing your side. Reflection. Question. How often do you stop to truly understand without judging or reacting immediately? What would change in your relationships if you adopted this approach? Confidence attracts, but control repels. Have you ever noticed that the most magnetic people, the ones who seem to draw others to them effortlessly, share one key trait? They exude confidence. But there's a fine line between confidence and control, and crossing it can be what breaks a connection. Confidence is calm. Control is suffocating. Confidence says, "I know who I am and I respect who you are." Control, on the other hand, is about forcing someone to fit into your vision. Stoicism teaches us that the only true power we have is over ourselves. Trying to control others is not only futile, but also emotionally draining. Now think about a relationship where you feel the need to control everything. You dictate what she should do, say, or how she should act. At first, this might seem like security, but over time, it becomes an emotional cage. And what happens? She pulls away because no one wants to live under the weight of constant control. Confidence, however, is freeing. When you act with self-assurance, there's no need to prove anything. Your presence commands respect, not resistance. It creates a safe space where she can be herself, free from fear of judgment or suppression. Here's a practical example. Imagine she tells you she's planning a night out with her friends. The controlling response might be, "You shouldn't go. It's a waste of time." But the confident response would be, "Have fun. I'll use that time to focus on some of my own things too." This approach reflects not only self-confidence, but also trust in her. When you trade control for confidence, relationships thrive because no one can resist someone who exudes balance and security. As Seneca wisely said, "Nothing is more admirable than a calm mind." Reflection. Question. In your relationships, are you a safe harbor or a storm? How has your confidence, or lack of it, shaped your interactions? Her desire for security is a hidden driver. Have you ever noticed how, for many women, the concept of security isn't just a priority, but an invisible force shaping their choices, behaviors, and even emotions? It's no coincidence that decisions that may seem simple, like changing jobs or starting a new relationship, are often guided by an instinct for self-preservation and stability. Here's the key. This need for security isn't just about material things, like having a home or a solid bank account. It's also about emotional security, the confidence that she can trust you, that your intentions are genuine, and that your words and actions are consistent. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the ability to live as you choose, without being enslaved by fear." For her, the pursuit of security is a way to escape fear, whether it's fear of uncertainty, rejection, or not being enough. This desire often isn't expressed outright, but shows up in subtle ways. seeking reassurance about your feelings, worrying about your future together, or feeling uneasy when your behavior seems unpredictable. One common mistake men make is misinterpreting this desire for security as dependence. This can create a negative cycle where a man tries to prove his worth by offering practical solutions, when what she truly craves is a steady, emotionally mature, and trustworthy presence. The security she longs for isn't about solving problems. It's about how you make her feel protected, respected, and understood. Imagine this scenario. She's feeling unsettled because she's dealing with financial stress or a difficult family decision. You have two ways to respond. One is to downplay her concerns with something like, "Oh, that's easy to fix. Don't worry so much." While this might seem helpful, it actually invalidates her feelings. The more impactful approach would be to show support and steadiness. "I can see why this is so stressful for you, but I'm here and we'll get through it together." It's this kind of emotional security, paired with your ability to stay calm and focused, even in tough situations, that makes all the difference. You don't need to have all the answers. Sometimes, simply being a reliable presence who exudes confidence amidst the chaos is enough. Here's the fascinating paradox. The more emotional security you provide, the less she'll feel the need to seek it desperately. You become the anchor that removes her uncertainties, allowing her to relax and trust not only in you, but also in herself. This dynamic strengthens your connection on both emotional and practical levels, showing her that you're not just physically present, you're truly with her. Reflection. Question: have you been providing the kind of security that reassures and stabilizes your relationships? Or have your actions, no matter how well-intentioned, created more doubts and unease? What would your relationship look like if you became the pillar she truly needs? She's overwhelmed by her own emotions. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where her emotions seem to take over everything around you? A calm conversation that suddenly turns into a flood of feelings, leaving you unsure of how to respond. This emotional roller coaster may seem chaotic, but there's an underlying logic to it. For many women, emotions are like the tide. They come in strong, flood everything, and then recede once they're given space to flow. The real issue arises when these emotions are judged or invalidated instead of being understood. When that happens, what could have been a passing storm can escalate into a full-blown hurricane. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength." For you, someone looking to build strong, balanced relationships, this is key. Her emotions are not something you need to fix. Your true power lies in not being swept away by them, but in offering stability as the storm passes. The classic mistake, a common misstep, is trying to rationalize her emotions in the heat of the moment. Imagine she's upset about something seemingly minor, like a comment someone made, or an unexpected change in her day. Your instinct might be to say, "This isn't a big deal, you're overreacting." While your intention is to calm her down, the effect is the opposite. You've essentially told her that what she's feeling doesn't matter. Instead, try practicing acceptance and understanding. A simple phrase like, "I can see why that would upset you. Tell me more," can work wonders. Why? Because it gives her space to process her emotions without feeling judged. This not only diffuses the emotional intensity, but also deepens the connection between you. A powerful insight. Her emotions aren't obstacles, they're opportunities. When you learn to navigate these moments with calm and empathy, you become the anchor that helps her find balance. Interestingly, when she feels understood and supported by you, she becomes more receptive to your perspective as well. Picture a couple. He's calm, but impatient when her emotions flare up. She, in turn, grows more frustrated because he doesn't truly listen. This cycle can be broken with a simple shift in approach, welcoming her emotions instead of resisting them. And here's an important detail. Emotional overwhelm isn't exclusive to women. Everyone experiences it, but we express it in different ways. Recognizing this not only strengthens your empathy, but also deepens your understanding of human dynamics. Reflection. Question. When was the last time you faced an emotionally turbulent moment in a relationship? How did you respond? And how could you have turned that situation into an opportunity for connection? The bigger picture. Throughout this video, we've explored emotional dynamics often seen as weaknesses, but which in truth are windows into deeper understanding. You've learned that emotional validation is a fundamental need, that the desire to be understood runs deeper than words, and that trust, when balanced, builds bridges while control destroys them. We also uncovered how the search for security is a powerful motivator, and finally, how her emotional overwhelm isn't a problem to be solved, but an opportunity to create a stronger connection. The secret isn't in manipulating these dynamics, but mastering them with wisdom and authenticity. Stoicism teaches us to be anchors in the chaos, to stay calm, be present, and act on solid principles. When you apply these teachings, you not only transform your relationships, but also yourself. Practical steps to apply right now. Listen before reacting. When she expresses emotions, resist the urge to fix or minimize. Practice active listening and make it clear that you understand what she's feeling. Strengthen your presence. Show her that you're reliable, consistent, and emotionally stable. This not only builds trust, but also eases insecurities. Be a mirror of balance. When she's overwhelmed by emotions, remember that your calmness can help restore equilibrium. As Seneca said, a happy life is one in harmony with its own nature. When you understand the nature of her emotions and needs, you find harmony, both within yourself and in your relationships. Now I want to hear from you. Comment below. Which of these concepts resonated with you the most? How do you plan to apply them in your daily life? If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Thank you for being here, and remember, mastering yourself is the greatest achievement of all. See you in the next video.